What can we devour here? I guess that? Or maybe, I guess the better play here is to devour Boxtopus. We might actually be able to combo out here. It's very hard to say, but there's a very decent chance that we can combo kill our opponent. Hey everyone, Raptor Spank here. Today we have another episode of On the Grind, the show where I cover a deck I'm playing in Ranked. I'll break down the deck, a couple of flex spots, and some basic mulligans. Then we'll put the deck through some ranked matches and review how we do afterwards. This episode I'm looking at the Bilgewater Spring combo. This deck combines Bilgewater self-damage units with Starspring for a reliable combo win con. However, the deck can go wide with cheap units to be the aggro deck, or leverage Tahm Kench as a pseudo-control deck. This deck runs tons of healing/protection to combo off or simply maintain board control. Let's look at the champion package. This starts with 3 copies of Soraka, the 3-cost 1/6 support, heal me and my supported ally 4. She levels up once she's healed damage, or once you've healed damaged allies 4+ times, and then she becomes a 2/7. The first time you heal a damaged ally each turn, draw 1, and now her support fully heals. Her champion spell is Wish, the 3-cost slow spell, fully heal damaged allies. This is a massive combo accelerator. It heals tons of damage on attack and flips into a card draw engine. Her champion spell can also help us one-turn combo kill with Starspring. Essentially, from her attack trigger as well as this, she can heal a ton of damage in a single turn, which can get Starspring from 0 to 22 very quickly. And just in general, she has a solid body for blocking, whether overwhelmers or just big units. Since she has as much as 6 to 7 health, it's very hard for our opponent to kill her. And she keeps healing herself, so she can keep attacking, blocking, blocking, and it'll be very hard for our opponent to kill her. Then we have 3 copies of Tahm Kench, the 4-cost 2/6. Round start, create an acquired taste in hand. He levels up once he's captured 3+ units. And when he levels up, obliterate captured enemies and release allies. Then he becomes a 3/7, and whenever he attacks, he obliterates captured enemies and releases allies. His champion spell is Bayou Brunch, the 3-cost slow spell. An ally captures another ally and gains their stats. This is our ultimate control lock, essentially. We have ample ways to heal and buff him, so he can capture basically any threat, no matter how large it is. And he has a large body on his own. He can also be used to do things like eat weirding stones to slow the ramp deck down. And his champion spell can be used to make him even harder to deal with, or make him a threat on his own by combining 2 creatures' powers together, and then potentially if we've leveled them up when he attacks, we'll get that creature back anyways. So he's just, in general, a great way to control the decks that might be faster than us, and essentially keep board control in our favor. Then we have our Landmark package, which is 3 copies of Starspring, the 2-cost landmark. Round end, heal damaged allies 1. Then, once I've seen you heal 22+ damage from allies, win the game. This is our primary win condition / combo piece. The heal happens before the win trigger, so it can heal a bunch of units and then win off that. It's hard for other decks to remove. Most decks don't have landmark removal or don't have access to good landmark removal. And it's just a cheap heal piece to go aggro early if we want to, since we can curve into it on turn 2, and it'll just keep our units healthy while we keep attacking every single turn. So it's just the big card of the deck. Then we have the Follower package. This starts with 3 copies of Crusty Codger, the 1-cost 2/4, play, deal 2 to me. This is a solid 1-drop 2/2 essentially, and enables all of our healing since he deals 2 to himself, and he curves great into Starspring, and once you heal him up, he's a 2/4, so that's just a really, really solid unit. Then we have 1 copy of Star Shepherd, the 1-cost 0/3. When you heal a damaged ally, grant me +2/+0. This is just a 1-drop bomb that can become very large very quick. It gets to double digits very quickly in this deck. So it's just essentially a silver bullet because it's a great threat against control. Or it can be an answer for really large creatures / an opposing Soraka because it becomes very hard for their Soraka to attack and get its trigger once we have a giant Star Shepherd that can just eat it. So it's just a good one-of for catching certain matchups that would be difficult otherwise. Then we have 3 copies of Boxtopus, the 2-cost 3/4 with Challenger, play, deal 3 to me. This is the best unit in our deck by far. It's a large body post-healing. It curves nicely since it comes down on turn 2. It serves as powerful removal because it's Challenger and 3 power, so it can kill most things it could challenge. And it consistently hurts itself for our combo because it can keep forcing things to block it through Challenger, so then it takes damage. Then we can heal that up for our Starspring to get to our combo quickly. It's just legitimately one of the best cards in the deck, and may in fact be the second best card in the deck after Starspring. Then we have 3 copies of Fortune Croaker, the 2-cost 2/3. Play, deal 1 to me, and an ally to draw 1. This is just good self-damage for Spring since it hits 2 targets, so 2 targets then heal up. So it's great for going wide for the Star Spring combo, and it curves nicely on turn 2 and cycles us through our deck if we haven't managed to find our Star Spring yet, or if we're just looking for some other pieces. It gets us deeper into our deck. Then we have 2 copies of Hired Gun. The 2 cost 2/3, summon, grant the strongest enemy vulnerable. This is a huge body for low costs, and unlike the other units, it doesn't deal damage to itself, so it doesn't have that downside. And it helps facilitate healing. By giving vulnerable to an enemy, we can force that enemy to block, which deals damage to our unit, which we could then heal up. To trigger Star Spring, you get the picture with this. So it essentially works like removal while also facilitating our combo. So it's just a really good 2-drop to have. Then finally, we have 3 copies of Broadback Protector. The 4 costs 2/7. Round start, heal your Nexus 3, deal damage to me equal to the amount healed. This is just a great late drop. It's a consistent self-damager because as long as you've taken damage, he's going to keep healing that damage and dealing a ton of damage to himself, which means that's a lot of health we can heal from him to get to our Star Spring faster. He's got a massive body on his own since he has 7 health. And he can really stabilize against aggro, because if we've managed to stay alive long enough to land this, it's going to out-heal our opponent's damage very quickly as we continue to wrestle control of the board into our favor. And it combos phenomenally well with Soraka because it heals us up, then Soraka heals him up, then he heals us up again. It's just a great piece for the deck. Now let's look at the spell package. This starts with 1 copy of Shakedown. The 1-cost burst spell, deal 2 to an ally to grant 2 enemies vulnerable. This is self-damage plus sets up removal, so it's just a great card for the deck. Vulnerable is perfect for getting damage and controlling the board, so we can set up optimal blocks so that our units live, our opponent's units don't. We get to heal up our units to get towards Star Spring. It's just a great deck that does, our card that does everything our deck's looking to do. Then we have 3 copies of Guiding Touch. The 2-cost burst spell, heal an ally or your Nexus 2. It's versatile, cheap healing at burst speed. It cantrip, so it keeps our hand full. It can be pointed at our Nexus. It can be pointed at our units. It's just a great card for the deck all around. Then we have 3 copies of Hush. The 2-cost burst spell, silence a unit this round. Hush is still really good. I've played it in a lot of decks. I've advocated for this card a lot. It's still phenomenal right now because the metagame is just so full of really degenerate strategies that Hush can answer so well because it's a flexible catch-all for basically any problem. It's effective against Fiora, Lee Sin, Field Rush, discard aggro, and more. You can hit the crowd favorite in discard aggro, making it a 2/1 that doesn't have overwhelm. You can hit Lee Sin once he's got all the buffs. You can hit Fiora once she's got barrier. You can hit the 10/10s on Field Rush. It's so good right now because all the degenerate cards are really popular right now, and it's the perfect answer for those cards. So it's exactly what our deck would love to have, and it's worth running all 3. Then we have 3 copies of Pale Cascade, the 2-cost burst spell, give an ally +2/+1 this round, Nightfall, draw 1. This is a flexible pump spell. It can either force extra damage through, it can help us to kill an important unit if we don't have quite enough power to do it. This can give +2 to get there, or it can honestly just save our own units. The +1 is actually a lot better than you'd expect, especially with so many things like Withering Wail or Vile Feast out there. That 1 health can be all you need to stay alive while dealing extra damage. So it's also pretty easy to trigger Nightfall to cantrip, so it's just an all-around great card for the deck. Then we have 3 copies of Astral Protection, the 4-cost burst spell, heal an ally 4, and grant it +0/+4. This is our best healing and pump spell in the deck, without a doubt. It gives a ton of healing with 4, and it makes it even bigger, so those units can take more damage and then be healed more in the future. It's great for turning Tahm Kench or Broadback Protector into huge board control pieces, because with Broadback Protector at like 11 health, it's going to keep healing every turn. It's going to be so impossible for our opponent to remove it. And with Tahm Kench, we're going to be able to devour anything they have, and there's just nothing they're going to be able to do about it, and we're just going to be able to keep doing that turn after turn after turn after turn. And it could just be used to save critical units, if nothing else. Finally, we have 3 copies of Bastion, the 4-cost burst spell, grant an ally +1/+1, and Spell Shield. This is a catch-all answer for our opponent's removal. It saves and pumps our units. It can save against things like Ruination or Vengeance that we wouldn't normally have an answer to, or Comet, something like that. So it's just an all-around versatile card to make sure that our deck continues to do what our deck wants to do. Now let's look at some flex spots. You can drop 1 Shepherd, Hired Gun, Shakedown, or even a Hush for a Divergent Paths. The 3-cost fast spell, draw a landmark or destroy a landmark. This will just make the deck way more consistent because now you have a 4th Star Spring essentially. And you're going to be way better into the mirror matchup, because if you ever find Star Spring plus Divergent Path, you are so set for success, because you'll be able to land a Star Spring early and start building it up, and if your opponent can combo faster than you, that's fine. Blow up theirs with your Divergent Paths. It's just a great card for the deck if you want more flexibility and more answers for the mirror matchup. You can also drop 2 hired guns or a Bastion Cascade, something like that, for 2 to 3 Zenith Blades, the 3-cost slow spell. Grant an ally +1/+2 in Overwhelm. Daybreak, draw Zenith Blade. This boosts our aggro plan and boosts the unit's health, which obviously that's really good for a lot of things, like Boxtopus is a phenomenal card to put this on. But it can also combine with Star Shepherd for just a straight up kill shot, because, like I said, that can get to double digit power super quickly. So being able to give it to Overwhelm is extremely relevant, and why, if you are going to run Zenith Blade, it's actually worth considering going up copies of Star Shepherd as well, because then it becomes much, much better in the deck than it is in the version that I'm running. But the problem is, it's easy to counter and / more punished by something like Hush, because now you would lose 2 cards instead of 1 card for the Hush. So that's the one big thing, is that you are setting yourself to get blown out by that more, but it is a good way to boost our aggro plan. You can also drop the 2 hired guns for 2 Sunblessed Figures, the 2-cost burst spell, grant an ally +0/+2. We're trading the removal off hired gun / board control off hired gun with a really, really good, cheap pump spell that makes our units much more durable and far harder to remove. It curves very well into things like Boxtopus into this the next turn. Even if we don't have healing, we now made our Boxtopus better, or if we have both, then it's way, way better. So it's just a good way to keep our stuff alive, and it's great for keeping Tahm Kench and Broadback alive as well. But the problem is, it's a really bad draw by itself. If you don't have board presence or you don't have many units, drawing this off of the top of your deck is basically going to be worthless. You can also drop 1 Star Shepherd and or a Shakedown for 1 to 2 Sheriff Lariat Rose, the 6-cost 6/5. When summoned, grant all enemies vulnerable. This is a huge late game removal piece, essentially. It allows you to orchestrate a huge self-damage turn so that you can heal off the back of that and combo off, because now you can set up all of their units in combat with yours and set up perfectly so all your things can live, and then get healed up by Star Spring and hopefully combo win you the game. And even if not, she's a solid body on her own at a 6/5, and for 6 mana, that's not that bad. The problem is, she does kind of need a board presence to be relevant, and if you're playing into control, then her effect has no value, essentially, because they often won't have units to hit with it. But if you only are dropping her onto an empty board on your case and your opponent has a lot of units, she's not going to do a lot, because you can snipe one of their units, but they're still going to have 5 units, and you can't really kill a lot of things. You can't take a lot of damage to heal up, so she really does kind of need you to have managed to maintain board control up until dropping her. And finally, you can drop a Shakedown and then maybe a Hush for 2 Star Shapings. The 5-cost burst spell, invoke a celestial card that costs 7 or more, then heal an ally or your Nexus 5. This is massive life gain for burn, or potentially to combo. The problem being, it's fairly hard to get a unit that's taken 5 damage to heal up with this, so oftentimes you'll overheal with this, but it can be used to combo. The big thing here is it's great against burn, because it gains you a ton of life at burst speed. And it can also be good against control, because it can pluck a really good win condition for control. Something like the Great Beyond or the Immortal Fire are really good things to find off this against control, because both will be very hard for them to remove, especially Immortal Fire. So it's good into that matchup. The problem is, it's slow, it's expensive at 5 mana, and it's hard to pull double Celestial for removal, essentially, because it can be good for removing things in the aggro or mid-range matchup, but you're kind of hoping to hit the 10-cost fill your hand, and then that will have removal in it, because otherwise it's very hard for you to cast this, get a removal spell, and have another Celestial card in hand, because that means you have to have both Star Shaping, so it's a little bit unreliable for that. Now let's talk about some basic mulligans. Your ideal hand is a low-cost self-damage unit, some sort of healing / protection, and a payoff. Like a dream hand would probably be like Crusty Codger into Star Spring into Soraka. Now you've got a ton of healing set up, and you've got your win condition through Star Spring, and you had that turn 1 play, so you've got board presence really well. That's like the ideal perfect hand. Basically, though, you want to keep at least 1 Star Spring in any matchup. The only matchup where you want to maybe consider not doing it is if you're playing against something like Leona Lux Celestial or something like that, where they're most likely going to have Priestess, because Priestess can find Comet, Comet can kill our landmark, and there's nothing we can do about it. So in that case, you may want to go heavier on the board presence and less focus on Star Spring, but I think that matchup's just kind of bad because of that fact, so you may just want to go for the combo and hope they miss it. Then you want to look for things like Guiding Touch, Broad Back Protector, and just low drop units for dealing with aggro matchups. If you can keep yourself healthy and then land a Broad Back Protector, you're in very good position for the rest of the game. And Guiding Touch is our only way to heal our Nexus at burst speed, so that's also really, really good in the matchup. And then just in general, our ability to go wide with the board helps us wrestle the board back into our favor against aggro, so that's also good to look for. You want to keep early aggression and Bastion for control. Things like Boxtopus with ways to keep it alive through a Vile Feast is really, really good because that'll deal a ton of damage to our opponent. And then Bastion can keep things alive through their Vengeances, Ruinations, etc. So that's also really good to look forward to. Hush is a snap keep against Fiora or at least Sin. Like I said, it can be good into other matchups too, but those are the big ones where it can be so game-ending, because if we can Boxtopus plus Hush, we can deal with the Fiora, and if we can deal with the Fiora, we're not that worried about the deck in general, because Fiora is the biggest concern. We have a lot of cheap, low units that Fiora can kill for free to get to her win condition, so having Hush to kill her is very important. Tahm Kench is great for go-wide decks like Bannerman or Discard Aggro, or can even be good against Field Rush decks for eating the Weirding Stones, or Trundle, because he can do both of those fairly easily. Boxtopus is great into basically any matchup. Boxtopus is the best unit in our deck. It's great against aggro for killing things. It's great into control for dealing a ton of damage. It's great into go-wide decks or like big mid-range decks because it's our highest damage unit, so it's most likely to eat our opponent's units. So if you see a Boxtopus, you're almost always going to want to keep it, at least one copy of it. And that's the deck for this episode. You can find the deck code as well as the deck link in the description below if you want to try the deck out yourself. Now let's jump into the matchup. Alright, the mirror match. We'll see how this goes. Probably the best idea here is to either go for the combo kill. Ooh, actually that can be very strong too. Yeah, maybe we're looking for the Star Shepherd kill here then. This actually is a pretty solid hand. The question is whether we keep this Guiding Touch. That's the big question. I think we could do better than that. Although it is a nice piece of tech. But I would prefer a Star Spring, yeah. Alright, well, we'll play Star Shepherd. Hope our opponent doesn't have turn 2 Boxtopus. Okay. Yeah, so our opponent's actually favored if they have the Boxtopus. Because attacking on turn 2 is actually better in this situation. Star Spring. Okay. So, we'll go Boxtopus. And I think we just go straight to combat here, to be honest. Oh yeah, we definitely do. See what our opponent has. Perfect. Perfect. We actually deal way more damage this way. Now, Boxtopus lives. Our opponent takes 2 damage from this. His Star Shepherd does live, but it's now at 2 health from Star Spring, although next turn it will start to go higher again. So that's the only downside, is our opponent has started the Star Spring combo sooner. Ooh. Well, this plus Pale Cascade's not bad. Although we're almost better off playing Soraka first. Boxtopus is very bad for us. See what our opponent does. We're okay with that. We are perfectly okay with that. His Star Spring is ahead of us right now, but we do have the Soraka. So that should help.
I can't wait to see them when they're all grown up.
I suppose we're definitely looking to trade Boxtopus into Star Shepherd. We don't really want to lose our Boxtopus, but if we don't do that, then we just lose Soraka to Star Shepherd. I suppose we could try to... Ooh. He's going for that. Yeah, we need to kill Star Shepherd here.
You leave me no choice. Let's go, Osu.
Because if he gets Zenith Blade onto the Star Shepherd, we're in really bad shape. And obviously we're not running Zenith Blade in our variant, so that is one of the bigger concerns here for us. We would like to get a Tahm Kench down if we can. We are pressuring our opponent's health very quick, though. Oh wow, he's going for just straight up killing Soraka. Okay. Well, I mean, we will match the Pale Cascade. Try to keep our Soraka alive so she can be healed by this Star Spring. Ooh, Astral Protection will be good eventually. It can definitely help us combo win with this Star Spring. The bright side is we can actually lose this Soraka, and it's not a huge loss because we have the backup. We just need our opponent to not find Soraka. Because, yeah, she's basically leveled up already. Okay, that's not a Soraka. That can get out of control quickly, especially with Zenith Blade. Ooh, and that is a way for it to get out of control. Yeah, so it really just comes down to which one of us can combo off first. These Star Springs are definitely going to be close. The fact that we have double Soraka plus this Astral Protection can be so huge for us, though. Double Astral Protection, in fact. So we can heal her up to 7 and then 11? Okay. I think we actually do go for that. I can take that hit, right? Yeah. I can take that hit. He can't swing with Fortune Croaker because then we'll just block with Star Shepherd. But this Boxapus isn't lethal against this Soraka. Our opponent might think it is, but it is not.
Live with purpose. Take heart.
Ooh, Boxapus is one of our better draws. That begs questions on whether we should play Tahm Kench here or if we should play Boxapus. I think Tahm Kench is better for the long game because we want to start getting our eats in next turn. Well, we're ahead with Star Spring right now. I don't know how long that will last, but we are 20 health. Another Boxapus. Okay.
I told your ancestors to protect.
We can eat that. Although we probably will eat something like Fortune Croaker, maybe?
I feel better when you feel
Ooh,
better.
well, he's ahead now. Again, though, we do have another Astral Protection. We do have a Soraka, so... I think our best choice here is to try and eat his big Boxapus. Because then if he can pump it in response, we can always pump our Tahm Kench, and Soraka will heal him even more. Bastion would be pretty bad for us here. I don't know if his deck can run Bastion, though, when he's running Zenith Blade. Zenith Blade on this Star Shepherd will be lethal eventually, though, if we're not careful. So he's at 10, we're at 9. This is close. This is going to be a very, very close game. Okay, he does have Bastion. Wow, our opponent really is running everything. Well, lucky for him. I guess we have to kill this Star Shepherd. That's the big thing we have to go for here. Ooh, that's scary. Although he can't Zenith Blade now. So actually, I think Star Shepherd's dead.
Wherever it goes, I hope it brings me back to you.
So I think we do this, and we pull Star Shepherd. I guess he can't really kill all of my units. Yeah, I think we can do that.
With purpose. Take heart.
This is outrage.
That would be pretty good for us, actually, if that's how he blocks. His spring is at 10, ours is currently at 15. Okay, this is pretty ideal for us. Yeah. Can I actually win this turn? That's the big question. So she's taken 2, she's taken 2. So that's 4 to 19, and he's taken 3. So I think this actually... I think that potentially wins the game. Although I suppose... Yeah, no, I think this wins the game. I don't know what he could have here. I'm pretty sure that's just GG.
For life. I feel better when you feel better.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. Perfect. And that's the game. Not a bad way to win the mirror matchup. Very, very sketchy, very, very close, but we have the earlier Soraka, and combining that with stuff like Tahm Kench gives us a ton of life gain. Even without the Zenith Blade threatening Star Shepherd lethal, it didn't really matter. We had all we needed to win there. I think playing Soraka on his part was kind of greedy, so worked for us, but I think the fact that meant he couldn't use Zenith Blade to protect his Star Shepherd was pretty bad for him, so he really just let us know that we could get the kill there. But yeah, we'll take it. On to the next. Alright, Fiora Shen. This is going to be sketchy. Hush will be great here, and then probably going for the combo is our best plan. Boxtopus could be good. A little bit risky, though. So I think we pitch all of this, but we keep Boxtopus plus Guiding Touch. Ooh, I like Crusty Codger. Now, we don't have the combo win. That's the big problem. We probably would prefer Star Spring over Guiding Touch here. But we have the Hush for the Fiora, and that can be pretty big.
These woods protect their
Oh,
own.
you're not attacking this turn, that's for sure. Do we play Boxtopus next turn? The debate of Boxtopus or Fortune Choker. I think we probably play Boxtopus. Depends on what our opponent plays here. If they play other ways to kill Boxtopus, then we're a little bit concerned. Oh man. Decisions. Because we're kind of worried about Fiora here. Okay, we can play Fortune. We could play Fortune Croaker. Ooh, another Hush. That's good. That's really good. Potential is there. Ooh, we can even play Star Shepherd plus Guiding Touch, depending on what our opponent has. Okay, so he has Barrier. Okay.
Save your worlds. We speak with blades.
Okay, let's see what he goes for.
Fine and wisp. Steady my hand.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd tackle both.
Try me.
Well, the bright side here is we could play Boxtopus plus Star Shepherd, and then we're in great shape. Dear Lord, our opponent really can't make his mind up. Alright, Star Shepherd, Boxtopus, kill Fiora next turn. We're in good shape.
Pablo's been down, but his knee out! Ah, I told your ancestors to protect!
Alright, go for the Fiora here.
Where are you off to?
Do we swing with the Star Shepherd? It's pretty greedy. No, we don't. We don't swing with it. It's fine. I mean, we're missing our combo, and that's the big problem here. Interesting. Alright. Well. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, that'll happen.
You must die.
I think we just bank then, right? We'll play Crusty Codger. But this way we can use Bastion plus Hutch to kill Fiora. Because presumably he'll grab one of these. Ooh, Soraka is not terrible.
I've got your back.
Okay, that's fine.
Nature blesses her followers.
Yeah, let's not play anything else. Let's see if he's foolish enough to go for Boxtopus here. I mean, smart plays probably take Star
My
Shepherd.
shield is yours.
That's fine.
Blesses her followers. Who would trespass here?
Let's see what he does.
Try me.
Okay, so he is gonna go for that. That's a little unfortunate. Well, we will go for the Fiora kill. I think we can take this 7. Fiora dies. That's 1 down, 2 to go. Bank this Hush. Play this Soraka.
How did you get to know so much about stars, Soraka?
Well, it's a long story.
Man, I want to Hush this Greenglade Caretaker, but that's definitely too greedy. Yeah.
Should have stayed home, pal.
Yeah, we gotta go for that. Dear Lord.
Nature blesses her followers.
Yeah, that can't be allowed to happen. So, we'll do that. Kill that. And hope he does not find another Fiora. Although I suppose we don't kill this, so that's kind of the problem. So we are kind of in risky shape here. Although a Tahm Kench is a pretty decent way to get through this. We just really have to deal with this one Greenglade Caretaker. That's the biggest problem. What does our opponent have? Another Fiora is definitely the worst case scenario for us.
Protect and strike.
Okay. I mean, we'll throw a Codger away. I don't think we want to risk anything else. Although it's kind of greedy not to.
You are better than this.
Okay, we'll do that, because then we don't lose to like double. Well, we don't lose to like the 4 mana. Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah, I mean, can't do anything about that. Ugh, how worried am I about a relentless pursuit? I guess we're fine with this. I can still bash in, and that's the important part here. If he's got concerted strike / single combat, we have Bastion to protect. This is gonna be what? Who runs that? Yep, that is exactly what the Bastion is there for. What the heck was that?
I'm sure there's something for my...
Yeah, I think we just do this.
You off, G.
Live with purpose.
And hope we've exhausted his Bastion effects, though that seems unlikely.
Shield up.
What's he got?
No closer.
Okay, but that still has it dead, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that, I guess. We lose Tahm Kench, and that's unfortunate, but he loses this Greenglade Caretaker, and that's kind of important.
We made it, Ram. I want to go home.
Alright, we'll play Codger here. Alright, they're almost out of spells. We're almost out of spells. I mean, this can draw us a decent bit of cards. Okay, well, now we are in extremely problematic situation here. The fact that we couldn't find our Star Spring is likely going to be the end of us. That's the big problem here. And now we find it. Better late than never, I guess. That's highly unfortunate. Draw me something good. Okay, I guess that qualifies.
Stars.
And now he just has to attack.
My steel is yours.
Alright, well,
Please don't hurt them.
we'll lose the Star Shepherd. Hope we draw something good off the top.
Good. This world has such great potential.
Because we are in risky shape here. It's going to be very hard to combo off at this point. We are pretty super late game at this point. Okay, Boxapus isn't awful. I suppose we can kill Young Witch for free, in theory.
Just what we needed.
Hello, lady.
Hello, Frog.
Ooh, Astral Protection. Double Astral Protection is actually incredibly good. What does our opponent have? Okay. Heal up. We're not dead to anything here. Not yet.
The balance.
That doesn't kill us either.
Get bloody.
Although it does level up, I think. But I don't think he gets the trigger yet. So we just have to hope this isn't Relentless Pursuit, I guess.
Enforced equilibrium.
Honor guide me.
Yeah, Shen levels up, but I don't think he gets the trigger here. Now the question is, can we just combo win here?
You are
So
better
this will
than
heal 1, plus give him another 4 to 8. So he will still die to that.
Not my first gunfight.
You're in for a whooping.
How worried are we about Soraka dying here?
Live with purpose. Take heart.
That's not bad. Okay, I think we can hold off here in case he has the 4 mana barrier spell. So we can keep Soraka alive at least. Okay, Purify. That is not bad. Because we can still keep him alive. The question is that worth it rather than getting the heal off, I don't think that actually is worth it, is it? So if I do this, I keep him alive. He goes to some incredibly high. You know what? No, I think this is worth more. I think we can win off Soraka with this. I think the full heal off Soraka might be enough to win the game.
Son of a...
I think that's what we're looking for here. It's hard to say, but he has a pretty high.
That soap? You've been drinking this?
And we can use Fortune Croaker to pull this away. So that's even better.
You leave me no choice.
So I'll be +5. Oh, it was purified, right. So I'll heal 9 total. I think that's still the best I can do here.
Take heart.
Go to 18. Okay.
The Star Child. I'll clear a path for you.
Good to see you too, Vin.
Table for one, if you oblige.
Aye.
What's he got?
Dinner on you then.
Okay. we live to this turn.
Appetizers aplenty.
A second Star Spring's pretty good.
So I go.
Okay.
My steel is yours.
So this will pump everything he has.
Off we go.
By how much? 3? Okay. So we have to lose a couple of things here.
Skill me behind!
I understand.
I mean, he can't kill everything.
Another path, another problem.
If he has a rally spell, we're dead. Okay, that definitely sucks for us, but as long as he doesn't have a rally spell, it might be enough. No rally spell, no combat spell. That's all we need. No combat spell, no rally spell. What's he got? Oh, and there we have it. GG. Wow. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, it triggers. Oh no. Yep, and that's game. Oh, I didn't do the math.
It must be done.
Yep. Well, that was a pretty big mistake on my part. Not that it really matters. I don't think the broadback would have been enough to buy us the time there. But yeah, is what it is. Very, very close. But as I said in this week's meta check, Fiora Shen is a really busted deck with basically no way to interact with it. So unfortunately, game's in a bad spot. There, we just showcased it. But if we had our combo a little bit quicker, we might have actually had that game. But well, on to the next. All right. Looks like some sort of weird Lee Sin combo deck. I'm not even sure how to go about handling this. I guess we're just looking to combo best we can. Astral Protection can be good, but they could have just hard removal. Yeah, maybe. Man, playing a Boxapus on turn 2 seems so unlikely to work, though. If we're looking for the combo, though, we kind of have to dig deep. I think the Bastion is worth keeping, though, and I think Boxapus can be as well. This right here is a really, really bad find for us, and Tahm Kench is also kind of rough. Not really what we were looking for. Yeah, we'll just pass. He has to really do something this turn for me to tap out for a Boxapus. Okay, well, that's pretty solid. That's our combo piece. That's what we were looking for. There's a chance. We'll start with Boxapus here because we can Pale Cascade to protect it if he has Vile Feast. The question is whether he has 2.
Aye, right.
That's the real question. Best case scenario, he Withering Wails right now. Alright, yep. Okay. Yep. Take a bunch of damage and I'll still keep my Boxapus. Thank you very much. Well, that was perfect. Wow, asking you shall receive, I guess. So this is what happens now depends really on what our opponent does. But chances are we're gonna go Kadra into Soraka. Trying to think what our opponent could have here. Okay, yeah, we're going Kadra into Soraka. We are in great shape now. That is as good a position as we could have ever hoped to be in.
Every step, a new journey.
We will Soraka full heal Boxapus, even though it only heals for 1. Because what we are looking to do here is keep our biggest unit alive. Oh, and we got a Soraka level up. We're trying to keep Bastion open at this point to keep Soraka alive, because that's obviously going to be our opponent's most important to kill unit here. Since it's going to draw us a bunch of cards and also help us combo off, potentially. good chance that we're going to look for Tahm Kench here. Though maybe it's better we go box to puss bank mana maybe. Are we willing to run out of box to puss though? That's the better question. I think we want Tahm Kench here. This'll lock out the board against our opponent and keep it so he can't really tap out for a karma here. Not to mention we're building a pretty wide board state here. And if we play Boxipus, it could die to Vile Feast. It could get healed by Star Spring and gain us a bunch. But it also could just ooh, okay, Ruination. Alright, so we will keep our... Actually, we don't need to keep Soraka alive anymore. So the question is, do we want to keep anything alive? I think maybe we do. And if we do, then maybe it's Boxtopus? Yeah, I guess we'll keep Boxtopus alive here for the extra damage next turn.
I am here to help.
So this is 6 damage, which has him dead the following turn. And it'll be a while before he can Ruination like that again.
Live with purpose.
Perfect world, he goes for a Vengeance here. I think there's no punishment to Bastioning that. To be quite frank. Although, maybe it's not worth it. And we kind of do have to keep her alive, right? So if we Bastion it, we do 7 damage down to 4. And then we can play Boxtopus, which will gain life off this. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I think we're better off just playing Boxtopus here. Or maybe Boxtopus Hired Gun, in case he does have Vile Feast. His Lee Sin is close to leveling up. Maybe we do just pass if he gives us the opportunity. Go hard. Okay, so that's what kind of deck he is. Got it. Well, we'll let that happen. We'll play the next Boxtopus instead.
I'm not afraid. Just a wee bit plain.
He has another one? Oh, now is the Vile Feast. Okay. Well, our opponent is incredibly lucky, but we'll do the best we can here. We just have to survive through things like Ruination and Vengeance. That is our biggest problem. He also can't really swing. That's the problem he has to deal with here. We might play Broadback Protector since he can't Ruination this turn. And having an extra Soraka is actually pretty good for us. In case he does find a board wipe, we can always save Boxtopus again and go Boxtopus Soraka.
Not all of us are immortal.
The problem is we're pretty far off from winning with a combo, and that's kind of what we wanted to be doing here.
Extend your senses.
Has the Lee Sin. Okay.
Star Child.
Hopefully he can't give it Challenger and a Barrier.
I'll protect you.
You leave me no choice.
Don't stand in my way.
Yeah, I guess we do that.
Take heart.
See what our opponent does. Could see him pumping Lee Sin here. We might need Bastion just to save us from Lee Sin, though I suppose since he's not Targon, he's not going to OTK us. Like, he's not going to be able to Zenith Blade him. In fact, there's no way for him to give it Overwhelm, so that's the important thing to note here. But Dragon Rage will mess us up eventually. And that's our big, big concern. This is going to be close. We've had a really hard time actually winning through Star Spring. I mean, this is a guaranteed win if we can take enough damage to heal that much. That's the key. With his Lee Sin out, though, I suppose he's slightly less likely to go for the Ruination here. I don't think I'm actually worried about that. I think we're definitely in win by combo at this point. The win by combo mode. So Lee Sin levels up. That's fine. Now the question is, do I cast this Soraka full heal? I think I do. Because that'll gain, what, 3 plus 3, so that's 6? Okay, well, yeah, we'll do this in response to that.
Take heart.
Ooh, another Bastion's good.
I'll see this.
So this will now gain us 4? I don't think that's worth it. I don't think that's worth it. I think we'd rather just gain through Star Spring.
Stand back.
We're getting close. Ooh, Fortune Croaker is pretty good. Let's see what our opponent has, though. I'm really scared of a Karma. Okay, that I am less scared of. We'll try to save it with a Bastion. He probably does have a lot of low-cost spells to strip Spell Shield. Okay, that's one of the more interesting ones I wasn't really expecting, but okay. That's fine. We have another Soraka.
Stars.
Alright, what are we going for here? I guess we Fortune Croaker, maybe? Or maybe we Soraka.
To heal and protect.
I'll leave that first part to you, Soraka.
I don't think he can actually kill the Soraka, so I think we might Fortune Croaker.
Center your spirit.
So I'll bounce him to my hand. Do I actually just want to Bastion that to prevent it? I think I might. I think that gains me potentially a lot more life. That might be all it takes. Although again, if he has another low-cost spell, that will heavily punish this. Okay. Well, we will draw a card. That is not bad. Oh wait, we don't have the mana for it, right?
Take heart. Live with purpose.
Guiding Touch is also very good.
Stand back.
Yeah, so we'll just go for this to get the instant full heal.
Start the round.
I guess we'll try to kill Lee Sin.
Take heart. Live with purpose.
Oh man, that's so close. That's so close. What's he got? Okay. We might have it. We might have it. Does he have a way to get rid of Star Spring? Does he have Crumble? If he goes for Ruination, we win the game. And I think that is GG. Although, we are actually a little bit off. Okay, there it is. Yep. Yep, there it is. Win the game. I have been really bad at counting my spring, but that time we did have it. We got lucky. We drew into some healing, although that is extremely likely with our deck. But yeah, there we go. Player Tahm Kench had passed the turn, and that's the game. Not bad against what was a kind of weird take on Lee Sin. Luckily, we did not see the Karma, and we did not see a Crumble or something. Although I think it was very unlikely that that deck was running Crumble, so that wasn't a huge concern. But yeah, close one. But there we go. On to the next. All right, Noxus Shadow Isles aggro. weird inclusion of Nocturne, so I'm guessing this is going to be a bit heavier on the Nightfall. Ooh, Star Spring is good, so is Boxopus, so is Astral Protection. These all work incredibly well together. Double Star Spring. The problem is, we don't have... Okay, Guiding Touch makes this a little bit better. Guiding Touch does make this a little bit better. What's he got? He's got to have a turn 1 play, probably. He's just trying to decide, yeah, which one's the best one. He's debating between this and presumably Saboteur, because this forces more damage through. Also, this is really, really good against our deck, though we do have Boxtopus and a ton of ways to heal it. And that is the big thing for us.
Always fighting 8-punch Pablo.
Hopefully he doesn't have a kill spell for Boxtopus. If that happens, our game's actually over. Okay, thank God. That would have been so bad. Words cannot describe how bad that would be. We can take a hit here, because we want to get Star Spring down before we start healing. That's the key. So we can actually take a pretty big hit here, as long as we can get our Star Spring combo going. And we have Guiding Touches to boost ourselves. Okay. This changes things a little bit, but now we can block at least. That's the key. The question is, what do we want to block? We can kill that.
Clear it out. In position.
We can't block Arachnid Horror. So the question is, whether we want to block this or this. I guess we want Saboteur dead as soon as possible. We are at a pretty low health point, though. We definitely don't want to be using too many Guiding Touches to heal our own stuff, if we can help it. We definitely want that stuff to heal our Nexus if we can. Oh man, this is very, very sketchy. I don't know about this one. I think we just go for this, and we don't even attack this turn. This is very risky, though. We are gonna be going very low.
You've been drinking this?
But we're getting towards the combo win very quick. That's the biggest thing going for us right now. We want to keep this Guiding Touch open, though, because there's a good chance we'll need to heal. Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll do this. And then we will heal ourselves. And I think we want to keep Boxtopus alive if we can. So I think we go for this. We just have to hope our opponent does not have Decimate. Although we do live through a Decimate currently. We are very low, though. Our opponent had a very, very, very good start. And while we have a good combo going right now, it's extraordinarily unlikely we can close this out. Especially if he's got that many spells. That one I'm not worried about. That is pretty bad for us. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I guess... Well, actually, do we do that? I don't know if we do that. Yeah, maybe this is better. We kind of have to just look to win this turn, I think. I don't know if we have enough to do that, though. That would help. Although I still don't think that's enough.
Pablo's been down, but he's nay out.
Ah, I told your ancestors to protect.
Decimate? Yeah. Yep. Well, nothing we can do about that. Our opponent just had the nuts curve, and we just didn't have quite enough. Maybe I should have played a little more aggressively, but I don't think there's really anything we could have done there. Our opponent just had the perfect curve. That's the problem with aggro. I think we're generally favored in that matchup, but when they get a good curve out, it's very hard for our deck to deal with it. Alright, mirror match again, I guess. A little unfortunate. Unless I don't use the first one. Alright, let's see. We really want the combo more than anything else, I'd say. So I think we can mulligan kind of aggressively for Star Spring. Ugh, it's not good though. Not finding it. Or a Boxtopus, so we are in absurdly bad shape right now. We don't have Boxtopus, we don't have Star Spring. Both of which are pretty necessary for us to have any chance in this game. That's really bad. Yeah, we are in a terrible spot right now.
If I kill you, I don't fortune, stupid.
Alright, well, we'll kill it. Our opponent's drawing cards, though. He didn't have the Boxtopus, I suppose, but he's more likely to have something relevant now. Well, Tahm Kench can kind of take the game over. Oh, we get to play our Soraka. That's not bad. The question is, what does our opponent have? Because now we have to beat the aggro deck. Our opponent's so far ahead that that's just what we have to do.
Starlight, live with purpose.
A Bastion could be good. Oh, well, we get a lot of damage through. Tahm Kench, huh?
I see feast in your future.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can eat his Tahm Kench, potentially. I can Bastion to protect my stuff.
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
So he's gonna try to devour my Tahm Kench. I think we have to Bastion in response and hope he doesn't have a way to strip it. We still haven't found Star Spring though, so this is kind of rough. He does have the spell? Okay, no he doesn't. But he has Star Spring and that's almost worse. Well, he strips Bastion, our spell shield, off of our Tahm Kench. Okay, yep. Well, he's gonna start comboing. This is where we get punished for not running at least the one of Divergent Path. On the bright side, we're almost certainly going to kill this Tahm Kench, or eat this Tahm Kench. That's the one good thing going right now, is that even if he has Spell Shield, we do have Hush. Okay, we got him. Alright. Well, that's good.
Well, you've already got the pot boiling.
I think we probably play Hired Gun. Okay, well we are gonna swing with everything, I think.
Stars fall.
Kill this.
Take heart.
Okay. That's fine, I think. Let's go for a little more damage though. And see if we can draw towards our combo. Not yet though. Dropping our opponent to an extremely low health total though. We just have to not die to this Star Spring. And hopefully use this Tahm Kench to
Pablo's been down.
keep our opponent's board under control. Ooh, that's scary. He does have a leveled up Soraka now. Shakedown's not bad.
No more of your crap soup last please.
It's that soap.
Oh man, how worried are we about a Soraka here? I guess we are fine. Yeah, we'll eat Boxtopus here.
Allow me a small sample.
I think we might just try to level up our Soraka. Ooh, that is pretty tragic.
Live with the possibilities.
Man, we are in. Oh man, bad shape doesn't even begin to describe what's happening right now. We are in the worst shape we could possibly be in. Like, this Star Spring's gonna gain another 3 here, so we'll be at 9. Okay. Weird. I'm not sure what he was planning there. Oh, I guess just for the extra Star Spring?
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
Okay, well, we'll eat Broadback, I guess.
You had your chance to walk away.
Oh, man.
Crown in my magnificence.
Well, at least we obliterated all the things we ate, including the Tahm Kench. But this Star Spring is halfway to leveling up. And it's going to be very hard for us to outrace that, even if we find ours at this point. Okay. So he's just trying to win through the combo right now. Can I even kill that? Okay, let's see if that works. Had a crash in the middle of that game, but somehow we are still alive right now. Legitimately have no clue how. What can we devour here? I guess that? Or maybe, I guess the better play here is to devour Boxtopus. We might actually be able to combo out here. It's very hard to say, but there's a very decent chance that we can combo kill our opponent. It is too early to say. Man. So that's the best play there, obviously. And then this pulls this. This pulls this.
Don't stand in my way.
This pulls that. And I think we Pale Cascade. Oh wait, Pale Cascade won't actually kill it. So it's not worth Pale Cascading. Oh, but it will die otherwise, so... yeah. Oh, man. Okay. We're at 12. Okay, so our opponent is there. The question is, can we get there? That's a whole lot we've got to do. Do I full heal? Full heal will get me 2, 3, plus 3, right? So 3, 6, 8. 8 gets me to almost there. So I think we full heal first.
Stars, hear me.
That gets us to 20. Is that enough? I think that might be. As crazy as this is, that might be enough. Oh man. I don't know how this works, but we're gonna find out. Okay. He's healed himself to 24. I don't know if that makes the difference. I don't know whose spring triggers first. Okay, his triggers first. Nah, that's unfortunate. I thought the second thing that got played is supposed to trigger first, but yeah, our opponent got there, I guess. Unfortunate. I wish triggers were consistent in this game, but sadly they're not. That said, that's way better than we should have expected out of this game. That said, our opponent won because of the disconnect. That's super unfortunate. We would have cleared units out that turn, which would have meant he gained less. So we actually did just lose to a disconnect. So unfortunate, but I guess that is how it goes. All right, looks like Celestials, Leona Lux. That's an old deck. Chances are they can't destroy Star Spring, but it's possible they can. We definitely want to combo off here best we can. Bastion's probably not necessarily worth a lot. Actually, they have Comet. That's a problem. They have Comet to deal with Star Spring. I think we're gonna pitch all of this. We're gonna just look for the combo and hope it works. Conjure's not an awful piece. That'll get some damage through next turn. Yeah, we just have to dodge Comet. That's really all it comes down to. Or maybe aggro our opponent out. I mean, that is theoretically possible.
These are my rules.
Nope. And he has the Priestess. Does he have the Comet? Though I suppose it doesn't necessarily matter because we don't actually have the combo. Soraka's not bad though. I think we just swing here actually. Since we don't have Star Spring, the healing off Soraka doesn't really matter that much. So we'll just swing. See if we can get that much damage through.
Back, heretic. Believe or burn.
Now the question is, do we actually save our unit here? I think so. I think we could do that. Gets us closer to leveling up this Soraka, so that's pretty good for us. Oh lord. Yeah, so Star Spring's probably not going to win this game. Chances are he's found a Comet. With that many things, chances are he's found a Comet. Probably gonna look to play Tahm Kench this turn. But we shall see what our opponent does.
Our strength is
Okay.
forever at its zenith.
That's a little sketchy. Well, we could actually pull a fair amount of damage here.
I'm sure there's something for my taste.
Deal 2, grant these two vulnerable.
No desire.
That. Do this. Do this, do this. Pull that, pull that. That has my opponent down to 7. That seems reasonable, I suppose.
Live with purpose.
See what he does. We can always use acquired taste to eat something. Although, what can we get away with eating? That's the better question.
Justice will be served.
That's sketchy. That is sketchy indeed. We really don't want our opponent gaining all that life, but I can't really risk it. I can't have him eat her. There's no good answer here.
The Star Child. I'll clear a path for you.
Good to see you too, Vin.
This is gonna be a really sketchy matchup. He has 2 Celestials we don't know about.
Establishment's fair.
He has 3 Celestials that we don't know about. Alright, well we are gonna try to eat this Radiant Guardian now. Before our opponent can gain too much life. We'd be much better off with a Hush so we could take Tough and Lifesteal off it. But unfortunately, we don't have that. Okay, well, he lives through that. My opponent needs something else. And he has the perfect nut draw. So, yeah, I mean, those games are impossible to win. Well, nothing we could do about that. Well, I guess we'll play Boxtopus and try to kill this Radiant Guardian. Although since our opponent top decks perfectly, I doubt that will happen. Okay, well, it's got Written in the Stars. That's definitely scary. Especially since I think he can play anything at this point.
You leave me no choice.
Well, we will do this and that. Well, we have a Star Spring. Depending on how this game goes, that could be good. Really comes down to whether our opponent has the Comet or not. We know one of his Celestials was written in stars. He won't be able to Comet this turn. That's the important part. At least we leveled our Soraka up, no matter what. So even if our opponent has found the Comet, we have gotten a leveled up Soraka. And we got rid of his life gain. Ooh, second Star Spring is very good. I guess we play Tahm Kench.
If you oblige.
Aye, is dinner on you then?
I think he has Comet. I think he has Comet, and he wanted to play Lux first, so he could Comet to level up. He's playing this well. That's unfortunate.
Live with purpose. Take heart.
So I think we might just hush. I think we might just hush the Lux and then try to eat it. And this way, if he casts a big spell, he won't actually level the Lux up either. What does he have?
Come on in.
Ooh, we got it! I can't believe it. He's got to have Comet, though. He's gotten 3 Priestesses off. Well, that can't get Comet. That's the good news. That cannot get Comet. That can get some other very, very scary things, though.
Be at peace.
Let us reconnoiter.
Ring the flipping bell!
Yeah, I guess we grab that.
Off to you.
Show courage.
Alright, yeah, we'll do that.
Purpose. Take heart.
I mean, our Star Spring is getting there, depending on what our opponent does. Tempting to play the second Star Spring and just start it off. I probably should have done that sooner than now, so I was getting the healing on everything. That I'm not worried about. That we're totally fine with. We'll get out this second Star Spring. We have Hush for that, so that's pretty solid. We can keep eating things with Tahm Kench, so that's really good.
I'm sure there's something for my
Ooh, that's good.
taste.
Does he have a Comet? Does he have double Comet? Oh, that can obliterate landmarks? Wow, I had no idea about that. I think he would get Lux back. So obviously that's not something I can easily allow. This could be very bad for us. Okay, we kept the Tahm Kench. That is good. Which means chances are he doesn't have single combat. Or else he would have used it in response. So we will eat this, I think? Yeah, we'll eat Raven. Okay. That's fine.
You had your chance to walk away.
And then we can play Fortune Croaker to get this Star Spring closer to going off. Now, there are still 2 potential comets that we don't know about. So that's the big thing we're worried about.
I need time for commune, Tom. This you know.
Alright, yeah, I think we're fine with that.
Live with purpose. Take heart.
Appetizers aplenty.
Stars fall.
I need a rubber chick.
Aye, right. Should have stayed home.
Do we fire this Hush off right away? I think we do. So we Hush, and then we Pale Cascade, drawing a card.
Live with purpose.
Full heal our Tahm
Take
Kench.
heart.
Gain a bunch for Star Spring. Threaten a bunch of damage. Have a couple of different ways to force our opponent to hit us. Does he have the Comet for Star Spring? That's the big question that we've been wondering this whole time. He has a Comet, and he doesn't use it on Star Spring. That's very interesting. So we will Bastion, because what would he get back? He gets Lux and... Yeah, so we'll Bastion in response. Hope he doesn't have single combat. Which he does not appear to. So we will eat this. Whoa! There we go. All right, we will take that. I'm very shocked that worked for us. But yeah, I mean, no complaint here. I'll take it. Not bad. We are definitely set to win there. I can't believe he used Comet on Tahm Kench. That's so greedy. Definitely a mistake, I think. Where you're playing against Star Spring, and there's a Star Spring out there. I mean, I think you have to Comet that. So, well, I mean, we'll take the win, but weird. Alright, so how did we do in our matches? We went 50-50 with 3 wins, 3 losses. Normally don't do that many games, but I wanted to include that game. Sorry about the technical issues. My computer actually just crashed completely in the middle of that video, in the middle of that footage, but I was able to reconnect. I did a couple of things before I started the video back up, but as you can see, it was the next turn. I really do believe that that game would have been a win without the crash, but it was so close that it's hard to say. I would have to actually... I mean, not even watching back the videos will tell me the answer, because I don't know what my opponent did, because they spent mana between those 2 points, and I have no idea what they did with the last 2 mana, if they did anything or nothing in the previous turn. So I really... It's impossible for me to actually track, but they would have gained a lot less life off Star Spring that very turn, because looking back, I was going to use Shakedown, which would have allowed me to kill 2 units there. Plus, Boxtopus could have killed another unit, and I could have used something like Guiding Touch or Pale Cascade to kill something while keeping Boxtopus alive, so I probably would have had the same board setup going into the next round, and my opponent probably would have lost 3 creatures who wouldn't have gained life on their Star Spring. So I think I actually could have won that game, but I wanted to include that game so you guys could see what happened, because I think it was actually a pretty good game, and I really wanted to include it because of the footage that came afterwards, because both me and my opponent reached 22 off our Star Springs. So the fact that I was able to drop Star Spring and combo off that quickly is something I wanted to show you, just to show the power of this deck, is that you can win games out of nowhere, because it is very easy with what the deck has to assemble that combo and to accomplish it in a very, very short time frame. So I wanted to include that video. Apologies about the low quality or whatever with the break in the middle. Did the best I could with it. And in fact, as of recording this review, I'm just hoping that it's even going to work, because I can get the footage to play, but I haven't actually thrown it into the editor yet, so I don't know, or like my edit software, video editing software. so I don't know yet if it's even going to work, but I'm assuming it will because I can get it to play, and I just wanted you to see just how crazy the second half of that was. So, overall, though, I want to go over a couple of statistics for this deck right now. I haven't played a ton of this, and I played a bunch of normals, which isn't reflected in this. I think I won more than I lost in normals, but I don't want to include that because that's not ranked. But I did play a ton of that. But in ranked, all-time record with this deck currently is 42%. I've gone 5 and 7 on the deck, so in ranked specifically. But 3 of those games, the first 3 games I played were the first 3 games I played on this deck, and they were on a previous patch, and I lost all 3 of them. And that was very early into me figuring out Bilgewater Spring. I played a lot in normals, and I think this is a very hard deck to play. Because of figuring out the win is very hard, it's hard to tell when you should be going for the combo, when you should be going for aggro, and if you can't find the spring itself, it gets very tricky for how to win the game. So I do think it's a very high skill deck, and so I think the first 3 losses I have with this deck were a little bit learning to play. And also, again, it was on a previous patch. The deck is a bit different now, and the meta is a bit different. So I think it is worth looking at the current win rate, which for me is 5 and 4. So that's a 56% win rate rather than a 42% win rate. So I think the deck actually is in a pretty solid place. And more importantly, I think the deck is really good into every part of the meta. Or not necessarily really good, but like even your unfavorable matchups, you have a decent chance to win. The big problem with this deck is it's very slow. Your games are going to be slow. So it takes a lot of time as opposed to grinding with things like Draven Jinx or Darius Aggro or Bilgewater Burn. Those decks are all quick games, so you get in a lot of games quickly, and even Lee Sin could be a bit that way because if you're on the Zed path, that's a very fast game that you're building. But this deck is a lot slower than them, but you have decent matchups into most things. I mean, if you can assemble the combo quick enough against Lee Sin, or use a Hush to buy yourself the time, it's very possible for you to win that matchup. Against aggro, you go wide so early, plus you do have life gain through Broadback Protector and Guiding Touch to gain life for your Nexus as well, that it's possible for you to just stay ahead, and your combo can win it in the long run. And with things like Boxtopus and all that stuff, especially if you can keep healing it, you can just strip their board down while keeping your board healthy, so that's really good into the aggro matchups. But those are very coin flippy, because if they are fast enough, they can just run you down potentially. And then into control, that gets really weird, but a lot of control decks can't actually deal with Star Spring. So if you do just try to grind it out using your own like life gain spells and stuff like that, like Astral Protection and Guiding Touch, plus all of your self-damage units, it's very possible for you to assemble the Star Spring win, and they usually can't deal with it because not a lot of them can run Crumble, let alone whether they do run Crumble or not. So that's pretty good. I think some of the worst matchups we could imagine for this deck is the like Leona Lux Celestial game that we saw, that we ended up winning, but I think our opponent may have played poorly and gotten a little bit unlucky. But generally speaking, that deck does have a lot of real good ways to answer landmarks without losing any tempo in their case, because Comet's just a really great thing for them to get. The fact that it hits landmarks just happens to be really bad for us. But the good thing for us is that that's pretty low in the meta share right now, because it kind of gets poached by the other decks. So I think Bilgewater Spring is in a good spot right now, because I think it can hold its own into most things. So just to look at a couple of the matchups off the top of my head, just looking on the current patch, we lost that Nailbiter to Fiora Shen. I've lost to No Champion Bilgewater Shadow Isles Aristocrats. That was really weird, and also pretty early on, so I was still kind of figuring out the deck a bit. I've beaten Banner Scouts the one time I saw it. The Karma Lee Sin deck, I've for anyone yelling at me earlier in the video, I've learned the error of my ways. That is actually a pretty reasonably well-known variant of Spooky Karma now, where people are running Lee Sin as an alternate win condition rather than Thresh. I personally prefer the Thresh variant, but I get it. So that was Spooky Karma. That's a meta deck. We won, and I think that we won in a pretty decent way. We were lucky that our opponent didn't find Karma, but we were able to assemble the combo pretty well. We did have a fair amount of bastions, which helped us, though in the end, since we won through the combo, it actually wasn't that important. It kept units around to potentially heal, but realistically speaking, the Boxtopus stayed at full health for most of that, so actually wasn't hugely relevant that we found so many bastions, but obviously that helps in the matchup. Bilgewater Spring is obviously, the mirror matchup's going to be a bit of a toss-up. Aggro is a bit of a toss-up. You saw the loss to Elise Darius. I've also played against Draven Jinx, and I won. That was very, very close, and that gets very difficult because your turn 4 play is very hard. Because your turn 4 play is going to be critical. I beat Draven Jinx going turn 4 Tahm. I had Tahm Kench, I had Broadback Protector. Those were my two choices, and I'm still not even sure I did the right one, but I think I did. That is a surprisingly relevant match to find Hush, because Hush is really good into their crowd favorite, so don't think you have to mulligan a Hush outside of Lee Sin matchups. It's good into a lot of matchups, but it's actually really good into the Draven Jinx matchup where there's quick attack and there's overwhelm and there's a lot of buff spells through vision and stuff like that. That can be a good matchup for it. Tahm Kench is also really good into it because he can eat a lot of their units without losing him. While it did end up really close, my opponent had a lot of units into crowd favorite, and then they had Jinx as well on top of it, off the curve, and Rummage to empty their hand for Jinx. So that ended up being pretty brutal, but I ended up winning anyways. So I think they kind of had the nuts running, and we were still able to get there. Actually, a fun highlight from that video, I regret that I wasn't recording on it now, because it would have been a great one to put on Instagram or something like that. But literally at one point in that video, my opponent get excited their own Jinx without a second copy in hand, just to prevent me from eating it with Tahm Kench, because they knew the combo was that close to going off that they'd actually rather kill their own Jinx than let me eat it and deal damage to my Tahm Kench. That was one of the funnier plays I've ever seen, but that was pretty neat. I wish I had it recorded, but yeah, I think the deck holds up well into a lot of the meta right now. So I think it's a great deck if you're looking to play something that's going to hold up reasonably well against everything, and as long as you don't mind that it's going to be really long games. I know I've been kind of cursing out this deck too because of the fact that it doesn't give your opponents many ways to interact, but that's our advantage when we're playing it. So that's one thing. To quickly mention some changes I might consider making for the deck. There's a couple of things you can change. I think right now the triple Hush is just actually insane. I think you have to keep that. It's just so good into so many things. It's great against Fiora. It's great against Lee Sin. It's great against the Zed. It can be really, really good into Draven Jinx for dealing with a number of things. So I think the triple Hush has to stay. Star Shepherd's really bad when you're not running Zenith Blade, so honestly, I might even cut all the copies of it, because it can actually be a huge negative. Like, against the Fiora Shen deck, I don't want to play Star Shepherd, because it just dies to Fiora for free. So, there's a lot of cases where it can be really bad, and not as many cases where it's really good without Zenith Blade. So, I could see definitely dropping another Star Shepherd for Divergent Path. I really think the deck could use Divergent Paths. I ran the more standard meta version we're seeing right now, but like in that last mirror matchup that I believe it was the one we lost where our opponent had Divergent Paths, it's just such a game changer. It's so good in the mirror match, and it's really good outside of the mirror match because some matchups are so dependent on winning through Star Spring that being able to have that fourth copy is critical. But in the mirror match, being able to destroy their Star Spring and break the symmetry, whereas maybe they were ahead, but now you still have your Star Spring and they've lost it, that's so backbreaking that I think the one of the Divergent Path is just, it's too good to ignore, I think. I think that is the smartest change to make, is to add one of those. And that's probably what I will do going forward, so I would probably recommend that to other people after having played these games and more. I think Divergent Path is worth running. But I do think that this list is in a very, very solid spot where it's at right now. I think there's a lot of different lines of play you can take to get towards victory, either through using the board. You could be a control deck, you could be an aggro deck, you could be the combo deck, and that is what makes it so versatile. So, thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe for more videos just like it.